So you've had a day. You know, one of those days. You walk through the door dreaming of some me time. But who's there to ambush you with an Olympic-level face washing? Your four-legged spa therapist. Yes, your dog's obsession with turning your face into a slobbery masterpiece has quite the backstory. But why the face? Why not a nice pat on the back? If you've ever found yourself pondering this during one of these slobbery sessions, you're not alone. And the reasons behind this canine obsession? Well, they're a blend of affection, age-old instincts, and a hint of, uh-oh. Stick around because the story isn't just skin deep. Every dog owner knows the scene. The jingle of keys in the lock, the scuffle of eager paws on tile or hardwood, and then that exuberant burst of energy as your beloved pet zooms towards you, their whole body practically vibrating with excitement. And more often than not, what follows is an enthusiastic facial bath, courtesy of your dog's tongue. But what's really behind this barrage of wet licks and joyful wiggles? While it's easy to assume it's just a sign of their boundless love for you, there's a tapestry of reasons interwoven with emotions, instincts, and social cues. Face licking, in many ways, is a language of its own, one that we're just beginning to decipher. Remember Daisy, the golden retriever from down the street? Every morning, as kids wait for the school bus, she's there, leaning into every pat and nuzzle, offering face licks to anyone within reach. It's her way of saying, "Good morning! New day, new adventures!" She's not just seeking attention, she's engaging in a social ritual, acknowledging her human friends and reinforcing her bond with them. Or consider Max, the tiny chihuahua with an outsized personality. For him, the moment his owner walks in is a frenzy of jumping, whining, and of course, licking. His owner often jokes that it's Max's way of conducting a taste test after she's been out, perhaps sampling the flavors of her day. These greetings aren't just demonstrations of love or moments of curiosity. They're complex behaviors rooted in millennia of evolution and domestication. The bond between humans and dogs stretches back thousands of years, and face licking is just one of the myriad ways this bond has manifested. As dog owners and lovers, understanding the why behind our furry friends' behaviors only serves to deepen our appreciation for them. And while face licking might sometimes be inconvenient, especially when you're all dressed up or wearing makeup, it's a small price to pay for the unconditional love and joy they bring into our lives. Now, before our furry friends become the meme-worthy, sofa-hugging, shoe-chewing companions we know today, they had jobs. Yes, that's right. And I'm not talking about fetching the newspaper or barking at the mailman. These were wild, ancient tasks passed down through canine generations, as natural to them as binge-watching your favorite series is to us. Picture this: a wild pack of ancient dogs, the ancestors of our present-day pooches. You don't see any collars or squeaky toys, but what you do see is baby pups. Cute, right? These little fur balls, just like human babies, got hungry. But there were no conveniently placed dog bowls filled with kibble. So what did they do? They'd lick their mother's face to say, "Hey, we're starving over here. Any leftovers from that wild hunt?" The mom, often after a successful hunt, would regurgitate semi-digested food for her pups. I know, not the most appetizing image, but hang with me. This face-licking ritual became an essential dinner bell, a way for the puppies to communicate their hunger. Over time, our domesticated buddies kept this face-licking habit, but thankfully, for most of us, the regurgitation part got lost in history. Now imagine your dog giving you that innocent look, those puppy eyes, and then launching into a face-licking session. Somewhere in their adorable little heads, they might just be thinking, "Hey, got any snacks up there? How about that leftover pizza crust?" It makes you see that affectionate lick in a slightly different, goofier light, doesn't it? And while we might chuckle at the idea of our pampered pets channeling their wild ancestors, it's a sweet reminder that their behaviors are often a mix of both ancient instincts and modern love. Ever spilled something on your lap and watched your dog transform into a four-legged detective? Dogs explore the world primarily through their noses and mouths. Unlike us, who might take a curious peek or maybe touch something unfamiliar, dogs, well, they go straight in for the taste test. Let's be real. To dogs, everything, and I mean everything, is a potential flavor sensation. Your freshly moisturized face, a 3-course meal, that new perfume you're wearing, an exotic snack, being to the gym and sweating, a salty treat. Dogs experience the world like toddlers. If it's interesting, it's going into their mouths. But let's debunk a misconception. It's easy to assume that when your dog licks your face, it's purely out of affection. While love is a part of the equation, there's also exploration in every lick. Your face tells a story of where you've been, what you've eaten, and who you've met. To your dog, it's like reading the daily news, but tastier. Recall the last time you came home after a long day. Maybe you met new people, ate different foods, or ventured into unfamiliar places. To your dog, you're a walking, talking adventure novel. Licking your face is their way of catching up on the latest chapter of your day's journey. So, whether you've just slathered on a new facial cream or spent some time in the kitchen whipping up dinner, your dog is getting to know your world, one lick at a time. Now, as intimate as this face-licking exploration might be, there's another layer to this behavior that's even more profound. You might be thinking it's all about taste, but what if I told you it's also about bonding and intricate canine conversations? Curious? Well, stick around, because we're going to dive deep into the world of social licks, bonding, and those silent chats our dogs are having. And trust me, you won't want to miss it. Have you ever been in a room where everyone is speaking a language you don't understand, and then someone suddenly laughs? Even without knowing the joke, you smile, right? Well, in the world of dogs, licking is kind of like that universal language. A gesture, a nod, a chuckle between friends. In the wild, pack dynamics dictate everything. A pack isn't just a group of animals hunting together. It's a family. There's camaraderie, hierarchy, and yes, there's gossip. Now, while dogs don't have the latest tabloids or group chats, they have a more nuanced way of communicating, one that's elegant, direct, and a tad slobbery. A younger dog or a lower-ranking member of the pack often licks the face and mouth of a more dominant older dog. It's a gesture that says, "Hey, I respect you. You're the top dog here." And while your Labrador might not be lobbying for a promotion in the pack's hierarchy, when he licks your face, it's often his way of acknowledging that you're the head of the household. Or at least, that's what we like to let you believe. Remember Bella, the adorable Shih Tzu? When she cuddles up and gently licks your chin, she's not only saying, "I adore you," but also, "I trust you." It's a tiny gesture with a mountain of meaning behind it. She sees you as someone protective, nurturing, a leader in her world. But there's a twist. Not every lick is about deference. Sometimes it's just your pup's way of inviting you to play, or maybe they're seeking comfort, or even trying to calm you down after a tough day. Dogs, with their keen senses, can often read our moods better than we can. So that unexpected lick might just be them saying, "It's okay, I'm here for you." Navigating the world of canine communication is akin to learning a new language. With every gesture, tail wag, and yes, lick, there's a story being told. But while the language of licks can be about hierarchy, trust, or simply a call to play, what about the more, flavorful reasons? Ever wonder why that particular post-gym lick seemed just a little too enthusiastic? Prepare yourself, because next, we're diving into the fascinating and slightly zany world of taste and scent connections. Imagine being able to smell a pizza from a mile away, or taste the slightest hint of mint in a vast meadow. That's somewhat close to how dogs experience the world. Their senses of taste and smell are intricately intertwined, making every sniff and lick a culinary journey. Firstly, we have to understand that while our human noses boast about 6 million olfactory receptors, dogs have around 300 million. Their sense of smell is estimated to be tens of thousands to possibly even 100,000 times more acute than ours. When they sniff, they're not just catching a mere whiff. They're diving into a rich tapestry of scents. Now, combine this powerful sense of smell with a dog's palate. Just like humans, dogs can taste sweet, salty, sour, and bitter. But there's more to their licking than just flavor. When they taste something, they're also smelling it. It's a 2-for-1 sensory experience. So, when Fido licks your face after you've had a meal, he's not only tasting that leftover trace of spaghetti sauce, but also experiencing the entire aromatic profile of your dinner. Garlic, basil, tomatoes, olive oil, he's savoring it all in one flavorful lick. Think of it this way. It's like having a 4D cinema on your tongue. Every taste comes with an added layer of scent, making everything doubly interesting. This is especially true for human skin. Our skin secretes oils, salts, and other chemicals. Add any creams, perfumes, or even the residue of the foods we've eaten, and for a dog, licking a human face becomes a flavor roller coaster. But while enjoying a ride on the Taste-tacular Express sounds fun, there's a side to this story that might make you rethink those intimate puppy kisses. Sure, it's endearing when your dog thinks your face is the equivalent of a gourmet meal, but there are some, let's say, less appetizing aspects to consider. Are you ready to delve into the slightly grosser side of face licking and learn how to set some boundaries? Buckle up, because this next chapter will be a wild ride. We all love those warm, fuzzy moments when our fur babies lean in for a big, sloppy smooch. But as with many things in life, there's a but lurking around. That affectionate gesture, as heartwarming as it might seem, carries with it a side that might have you reaching for the wet wipes. Ever watched a dog at a park? They're curious creatures. One minute, they're sniffing another dog's behind. The next, they're tasting a peculiar-looking stick. And then, they're attempting to sample a half-eaten sandwich they found under a bench. And then, they come home and give you a big, wet kiss. Starting to see the picture? While a dog's mouth isn't necessarily the breeding ground for rare tropical diseases, it's also not the pristine environment we sometimes imagine. Dogs explore the world with their mouths, which means they come into contact with a lot of, well, let's just call it stuff. And some of that stuff carries bacteria that you don't necessarily want on your face. This isn't meant to scare you away from your pet's affection, but more to instill an understanding and awareness. It's perfectly fine to enjoy those moments of affection, but it's also okay to set some boundaries. Just as you teach sit or stay, train your dog not to lick on command. It helps to establish when it's okay and when it's not. If you notice your dog is in an especially licky mood, give them a toy or a treat. It redirects their focus. Regularly grooming and cleaning your dog's mouth can reduce the amount of unwanted bacteria. Dental chews and specific doggy toothbrushes can do wonders. If you're not keen on face licks, train your dog to lick your hand or give them a specific spot that's okay for them to target. Pay attention to what prompts the licking. Is it after meals? When you've applied lotion? By understanding triggers, you can anticipate and manage the behavior better. In the grand scope of dog behaviors, licking is relatively benign. It's a gesture deeply rooted in instinct, exploration, curiosity, and affection. But like with all relationships, it's essential to strike a balance that ensures both you and your furry friend are happy, healthy, and getting the most out of your shared life. Remember, the bond between a dog and its human is a special one, built on trust, understanding, and countless wet-nosed smooches. So here's to celebrating that bond, one slightly cleaner lick at a time.